What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 61 of the Beer Battered Sports Podcast. No Isaac today. If you're watching, you can see that he's calling the game for the college he works at. So, you know, whatever. It's fine. We
Yeah,
got it right.
yeah, just the two of us.
I am
I don't
your host,
I
Kylie.
hope everything goes good in that game that he's called.
Yes, I hope so. He's such a good caller, dude.
Oh yeah. Uh, uh well, for the people that don't know, Isaac commentates for his college basketball team for the college he goes to, and I actually watched one of the broadcasts he was doing not too long ago, and Isaac is better than a lot of these NBA analysts, a lot of these NFL analysts. He's actually play by play, calling everything, very well organized. So if you guys ever get a chance, go listen to Isaac call a game.
Absolutely. He literally gets you like hyped for whatever is happening. And it's a community college game and he gets you hyped.
Yeah, he had me very hyped in that Raptors CCB basketball game.
Yeah, it made me sad. It's my school against his school that he commentates on. So, it's just another team for him to make fun of me for. Whatever. Hey, what's up? We are, in fact, brought to you by Fired Up Sports. That's them checking in with us. We love you guys. You guys definitely know how much we appreciate you. All right, let's get to this episode. We got a lot to talk about. Let's do some World Baseball Classic because that just wrapped up.
Hey, that was very interesting. Shohei Ohtani shows us how dominant he is again, of
Dude.
course. But shout out to the USA, man. Shout out to Trey Turner. Trey Turner, that guy.
My guy.
Yeah,
I
he
have it on the back of my shirt right now.
did a lot of great things to get us to that final there in the World Baseball Classic, and you can see that the Phillies got a good one. I mean, Trey's always been a dog, but he's very much growing into himself and growing into a dominant, great player.
Yeah, for sure. I mean that grand slam. He had 5 home runs this World Baseball Classic. That's the most of any U.S. player.
Yep.
Um, and he had 4 of those in 3 games, I believe.
Yeah.
Like he's ridiculous.
Yeah, but shout out to Japan. They won. They showed they're
Yeah.
the most dominant country in baseball right now, I guess.
I don't know because Mexico had to go through Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. Like they just to get to the semifinal, they had to beat some teams and
And not only that, though, I think if the DR didn't lose a couple of players that they had, because
yes.
I know they lost Edwin to the injury.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too because that was brutal.
Yeah, so they lost Edwin to the injury, and then I think they lost somebody else to injury as well. But those guys in DR, they dominate baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, like half the league right now in the MLB is Dominican guys, and they're dominating baseball. So,
Yeah, they're going stupid. Isn't Julio Rodriguez on
yep,
Dominican? Yeah,
yep,
like there's they have a loaded roster.
very.
It just Mexico caught fire. I wanted them in the final against us because I feel like they had to have exude a lot of energy to beat all 3 of these teams, and we didn't have to. So we had more energy, and I feel like we would have beat Mexico. But it was a fantastic tournament, a fantastic game. Like this was very very good for the game of baseball.
1,000%. I was actually saying to somebody yesterday, it sucks that the NFL doesn't do anything like this,
Yeah,
and it's because I guess there's not a lot of
international.
international players in the NFL and stuff of that nature. But it would be fun to see like USA going against a Germany or USA going against you know wherever else these guys are from or anything of that nature. It would just be fun to see that in the football aspect because we get to see it in basketball, baseball, soccer. So it would be fun to see something like that in the football aspect.
Yeah, for
Down the road.
sure. My biggest issue with this whole thing is a lot of people were saying it's a meaningless exhibition, whatever. And it just, of course, they were Americans that said that because all these other countries grew up, like, especially with, like all these teams grew up watching soccer. That is the biggest sport in the world. And whether the US likes to admit it or not, it's the best sport. There's a reason it's the best sport, and it's because it is the most accessible sport. All you got to do is have some form of ball and two makeshift goals. It's the cheapest sport to play, and that's why it's so popular. So all of these countries are so used to the international playing matter and all that comes with the international glory. And the US is just used to teams glory. That's all we really care about. It's the most irritating thing to see.
1000%, because I can honestly say this World Baseball Classic brought me like the type of excitement a World Series Game 7 would have brought me.
Yes.
But every game was like World Series Game 7 type atmosphere. Even the games where I saw people blown out 14-2, it was still like it was exciting World Series Game type atmosphere. So I think these games are a lot funner than most of those regular season games, to be honest.
Oh God, yeah. I would much rather see a World Baseball Classic tournament than like some meaningless game
Yeah,
30 like
Orioles versus, I don't know, the Pirates or something.
yeah, Pirates Reds or just something like that. It like we all love our teams, of course. And we both are fans of big market teams and specifically baseball. We are two of the biggest cities for baseball.
Right.
New York as a whole, not just in Queens, Philadelphia, Los Angeles. Those are like the three biggest cities for baseball. So, as much as we love our teams, our players that represent the cities we love, um, the country, the international play has to matter. We gotta start caring about the players when they represent our country because
Right.
in 2026 the US is hosting the World Cup. We have the World Baseball Classic again in 2026. We got to start caring about international play.
1000%.
It's frustrating. And the hockey has the World Junior or whatever it is. The World Juniors, the NBA has the FIBA World Cup and stuff like that, and obviously soccer has the World Cup. Baseball has the World Baseball Classic, and it was every bit as entertaining as just about. It was more entertaining than any Phillies game in the regular season that I saw this year.
1000%. And I think that the people that made those comments about it just being another stupid exhibition game or something like that are the people that are privileged in this world.
Absolutely.
They've been privileged to just these things in their life and stuff of that nature. It's like you got to expand. You got to, broaden your horizon and things of that nature. You got to give things a chance. Most
Yeah.
important. So it's like I don't even think they're giving it a chance before they call it just a stupid exhibition game. Because like I said, this was more exciting to me than an Orioles Pirates game for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I would rather watch like Great Britain and uh like Canada play than I would watch any Reds game, any Pirates game,
Oh yeah,
any.
because it's like those guys want it. It's like it's different for when you're competing for your country than competing for a team. Because
Yeah.
if you look at it like this, I'm sure they still probably get paid playing for their country, but playing for your team, like that's where you earn majority of your money, or that's actually where you earn your money. is playing for your team. So guys playing for their team and stuff like that, some guys do stuff more conservative. Like, let's look at the NBA, for example. These big time players, they'll sit out. They won't do back-to-backs anymore, anything of that nature. None of that. Like, it's because they've been privileged to that. It's like they're allowed to do that. But also they're earning their money still while they're not playing, you know? But
Yeah.
during this international stuff, it's like you got to go out there and perform and do the best you can for your country, because you don't want to let your country down. But for your team, it's like, yeah, you don't want to let your team down, but you don't really care about the fans or what they have to say or anything of that nature. Oh, I came to a game and you sat out that game. They don't give a shit. Like, I've seen plenty of guys tell people that they don't give a shit about your parlay. They don't give a shit about them sitting out during a game. None of that, anything of that nature. But when guys are playing for their country, they're going all out for that country, because it's a lot different. And it's like, I got to do something for my country here. It's not just for my team at this point. It's for my entire country.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, we grew up not caring about international play.
Right.
Soccer is, of the 5 sports, probably the least popular out of all of them. It's definitely growing. And I've always said that people that don't care about soccer don't know the sport at all, typically, because they say, "Oh, soccer's boring." Well, then explain everything in the Premier League. Do you even know what the Premier League is? And they always say no. And there you go. So
Exactly.
it's so frustrating, because for a country that is so stereotypically patriotic and cares about the country and all of that, we do not care when players play for our country.
Yeah, and which is actually kind of crazy to me, because the same players that you don't care about playing for your country, those players play on your team but can be traded tomorrow. And
Yeah.
that's another reason that they treat it differently. Like, from the players aspect, that's another reason they treat it differently for playing for their country and playing for their team. Playing for my team, I can be traded tomorrow. So, you know what? I am going to take this day off and go sit on the bench, because tomorrow I may wake up and my phone's ringing and I got traded to goddamn Cincinnati or something. But your country, you can't trade a person out of their country. They're a citizen in that country. Unless they have a dual citizenship or something of that nature, they are a citizen in that country. You can't kick them off that team. So it's like,
Believe me, I've tried to kick all the Mets off.
so exactly, it's a lot different. So people need to start appreciating international play a lot more.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody has been saying that baseball's dying, but this past year and then this past off season with the World Baseball Classic, it's been a fantastic year and a half for baseball.
Oh yeah.
And maybe I'm biased because my team had a special season, but like even then, it was so much fun just watching baseball this year.
Yep.
And the best part is, Rob Manfred cannot screw the World Baseball Classic up. That's the best part.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I don't know. It's frustrating because this country cares when the World Cup is on, but as soon as the World Cup's off, they stop caring.
Yep.
But there's a reason why they care about the World Cup, because it's one of the biggest games that they represent your country. So I don't.
The same people that say they don't care for stuff and that the World Baseball Classic was just another exhibition and stuff of that nature, they'll be the first people to buy tickets to the World Cup when those tickets drop for 2020.
1,000%. But the World Cup is coming to Philadelphia. It's going to be played at the Link, so you bet your ass I'm buying tickets.
Oh yeah.
I don't care.
Got to.
I don't care who's playing. It could be like 2 countries from like halfway across the globe. I don't care. I want to see a World Cup match. And speaking of, the Mets, Taiwan Walker is up to pitch right now for the Phillies. So that's fun. I have the game right.
I haven't
right
really
next to
watched
me.
much spring training this year. I know that we're like 9-10 right now or some bullshit like that, but
Really?
it is. Yeah, we're having a pretty terrible. I think Max is one. I forgot who else.
I was just in Florida for spring training, dude. I just came back
Oh yeah, I
yesterday.
saw that. How was that?
Dude, it was the best weekend ever. Like, Tampa is a beautiful area.
Oh yeah,
And the Mets play in Port St. Lucie, so we don't play each other in spring training because it's literally the other side of Florida.
right.
But Tampa and Clearwater are some beautiful places. And this time of year, it was actually pretty cold. I had to wear jeans and a hoodie the entire time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was actually like kind of on the colder side. It was colder up here. Obviously, it was like 20 degrees here, but it was like 50, 60 degrees down there with wind. So it was cold, but the two games I went to, dude, it was amazing.
That sounds fun.
You got to go one time. Like
Yeah,
especially Port St. Lucie, like I hear it's a beautiful area too.
yeah. I was thinking that like next year I'm gonna have to get out to spring training because I'm definitely going to a lot of baseball games this year. I
Yeah.
was preaching that with some people that not too long ago as well. Um, yeah. When do we start?
The
Third.
30th, I believe. We
Yeah.
play in 8 days. That's our first game.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought. I thought I was reading
Something like
something
that.
earlier. I think our first game's in 9 days. I think we play in 9 days.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I'll actually be in New York around the July area, so I have to get out to the Mets in July.
I want to go to City Field just because it's a ballpark I haven't been to. Um, I don't want to see them play the Phillies because rivalry games just get way too intense for me, and it's like I don't know. I don't. The Astros are definitely my least favorite team in fan base now. Like they are. When I was there, I saw a couple Astros fans, and I'm like, dude, go to Arizona. They were wearing World Series champ stuff, and I'm just like, come on.
Yeah, they just wanted
Like
to come.
you're just looking for shit because you know what kind of fan base we are.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the most irritating thing. So they've definitely become my least favorite team in fan base.
I don't know what they
Um,
expected out of spring training. Like, did they expect you guys to be that fan base in spring training? Like, it's just spring training.
well, I did tell the fan to go to Arizona, but
Yeah.
but I don't know if you heard me or not. But it's just like, dude, like why? Like, we're not gonna say much anyway. Like if the Astros were in Philadelphia playing, yeah, we're gonna say something, of course. But this is spring training in Florida. Everybody's happy. Like you're not gonna see us do anything. But like I just they're easily my least favorite team in fan base. It's become so clear. Like it's and it helps that you're a Mets fan and you're like one of my closest friends. So like the Mets are starting to become more okay. Um,
That's kind of how I look at the Eagles too. I just don't like them.
see, but on to football though, like Jacoby Brissett might actually be scary good for you guys.
We're jumping right into Jacoby. Um,
Yes,
now I everybody knows I wanted Lamar, but
of course.
obviously that's out the window now. So I have to start looking forward and look at what we do have on our roster. And I don't think they brought Jacoby Brissett in to sit on the bench. I really think he is going to battle with Sam Howell for that starting position. Um, and if you look at Brissett's stats from last year, they kind of were similar to Heineke, but Brissett, they actually were the same. Brissett had 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Heineke had 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. But you have to look at Heineke played 14 games out of that season, 13 games out
Something
of
like that.
Yeah, okay. Brissett played 12, so Heineke has that 2 more games on him, and still only had the amount of touchdowns that he had. But with that being said, you saw with Heineke that we won a lot of games on the ground and with our defense when Heineke was in the game.
Yeah.
Heineke just did just enough. I can probably count on my hand.
What's up,
I,
Isaac?
what it do, my boy? I can probably count on my one hand how many times Heineke threw for over 200 yards in that 14 games that he did play.
Yeah.
So you get a guy like Brissett that comes in, and I watched him throw for 200 yards multiple times this year. Plus, he did what he did with the Browns and their offensive line. We have obviously boosted our offensive line and the pickup of Andrew Wiley this offseason. I'm sure we'll still boost it up with further what we have going on throughout free agency and the draft process. But you give Jacoby Brissett these young weapons, Jahad Dotson, Curtis Samuel, Brian Robinson, Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, things of that nature, and you give him some time back there to throw the ball and get right with his team, I think Jacoby Brissett can take us a very nice far place. Hopefully it's either division winner or second place, no matter. Hopefully it gets us to the playoffs, but I believe that Brissett can come in and change this organization, and he can actually, believe it or not, honestly, with our defense, if our defense can stay healthy and our offense can stay healthy, people will think I'm crazy for saying this, but Jacoby Brissett could take us to a Super Bowl. And before anybody looks at me like I'm crazy, I'm not saying he'll do it this year, but we have to remember Rex Grossman went to a goddamn Super Bowl.
I'm clipping this.
Rex Grossman went to a goddamn Super Bowl. He had 22 interceptions that year that he went to the Super Bowl. So like I said, as long as our
Damn, was it 22?
It was somewhere up there, 20 or 22, something like that.
Damn.
But all I'm saying is if our defense can stay healthy, we can see another story like Rex Grossman where your defense takes you to the Super Bowl and, Jacoby Brissett does just enough to get us there. So I was very upset not getting Lamar, but I love the pickup with Brissett because I honestly thought we were going to do something stupid with my friend
Matt Ryan.
My friend's watching the podcast right now, and as I said that, look what he just responded to me.
What'd he say?
He said, "Fuck no, Brissett's not doing that." Listen, for all the haters out there, he's a Packers fan, so I don't want to hear shit from him. Lost his franchise guy. All the haters out there, if Brissett does enough, our defense stays healthy, that man can take us to the Super Bowl.
Hey, it's Jordan Love season over there in Green Bay.
Nah, and actually, I do want to get into that. I'm actually very highly sold on Jordan Love. I loved Jordan Love in college at Nevada. He was a very strong arm kid. He obviously can move on his feet and stuff of that nature. He brings more to the Packers offense. Well, I won't say that. He brings a different package to the Packers offense than Aaron Rodgers did because he's very much more mobile than Rodgers is or ever was in his career. So, this kid having a big arm on top of having the leg talent, I mean, I can't say the Packers are down and out just by losing Aaron Rodgers because they still have a lot of talent on this roster. They have a quarterback who has learned from one of the greatest quarterbacks in all of the NFL history of the game for however long now. So it's not like they're just throwing somebody into the fire. They have a kid who literally learned from the last guy that was an MVP and a Super Bowl winner on their team. So I think Packers need to make a couple more moves this offseason. But the Packers could also be another scary team to watch in the NFC this year. And the reason I say that is because the NFC is so wide open right now. As much as I say, he's okay, he's all right, Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFC right now.
You're damn right he is.
Throughout every quarterback, every team on the NFC side, Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFC right now. So with that being said, the NFC is wide open. Because
pretty much.
You look at it now, we thought San Fran was going to come back with Jimmy Garoppolo. They trade the guy off. So we know they're running with Purdy at this point. They got faith in Purdy. They're definitely not going to throw Trey Lance back into that. Trey Lance is going to be the backup now. Like, there's
But
just
here's
no.
the thing, though. Here's the thing. Purdy had Tommy John surgery. I
Yeah.
don't know how soon he's going to be back. And you did trade a lot to get Trey Lance. Now, I understand, like, I am on the side where you trade Trey Lance, or I guess not trade Trey Lance because you need a backup quarterback, but like Purdy has to be your guy. He balled out this
Mhm.
season when we saw him. And as much as I hate the 49ers, like, I can't stand their fan base and their team. Like, they're a bunch of whiny bitches. Like, it's no secret that Purdy is pretty damn good.
Yeah, definitely. Had he not got hurt in that game, I think it would have been a lot closer. You guys probably
A
still,
lot closer.
but it would have been a lot closer.
Yeah, it definitely would have been a lot closer than it was. And I definitely think we still would have won. But um, like I have all the respect in the world for Purdy. Like, this dude has a great story, Mr. Irrelevant. And I mean, he wasn't even when he got drafted, like, as Mr. Irrelevant. Everybody was like, "How did he not get drafted before that?"
Yeah,
And
not just
it's
because Brock was good in college. He was
yeah,
good at Iowa State. Like, he actually did. He has a lot of Iowa State records.
yeah,
And actually, him and Jalen Hurts actually had a crazy battle before Oklahoma versus Iowa State, and Purdy was down like 17 or 20 points in that game. Ended up bringing Iowa State back, and him and Hurts are going at it, 400 yards plus for both of these guys, and you know, so Purdy definitely has talent. And it's definitely crazy to me that the guy was the last pick in the draft due to the talent that he does have. Coming back on Tommy John surgery, you never really. I mean, just I can't really say that though because I'm basing it off a baseball standpoint. But
of
all the guys
course.
in baseball that got Tommy John surgery never came back the same. Um, so I hope for a speedy, fast recovery for that guy. Hopefully, he comes back the same. But if you ask me, if he is healthy, you ask me who to go with, Trey Lance or Brock Purdy. You have to go with Brock Purdy.
Have to.
The guys love.
Like,
The guys
yeah.
love. The guys meshed with him. He's another guy that he doesn't really have to do too much because his defense is so good,
Mhm.
but he does just enough. And if he can do just enough, he can be right
And he
back.
can do more.
Right, definitely. If he can do just enough or more, he can be right back where he was last year, which is in
Mhm.
the championship, hopefully making it to the Super Bowl.
I
But
wouldn't say hopefully, but
well, in his standpoint, his eyes,
yeah,
hopefully for him,
yeah.
it's the Super Bowl. I'm hoping that Jacoby Brissett takes us to the Super Bowl. So, you know, but yeah, man. As far as like the NFC in general, the NFC is wide open. So
Yeah.
anybody that thinks that my Commanders don't have a chance, you're crazy.
Yeah, they absolutely have a chance. I believe they've gotten better. Haven't you guys signed a couple people or something?
We have signed this is actually the offseason that I've appreciated the most as a Redskins Commanders fan.
Hmm.
And I'm almost 26, but I've been watching football since I was like
Old.
7. So damn near almost 20 years now I've been watching football. So since I've been watching football, I've been a Commanders fan. And every offseason, I feel like I've seen us do something stupid. Like signing Albert Hainsworth for $100 million. Guy played 1 year.
Oh God, I remember that.
We traded the whole goddamn team for RG3. The guy gives us 2 years because we ruined him. We don't sign Kirk Cousins. We keep franchising the guy. We let him walk, and he was our best, most consistent quarterback.
Dude, I remember Hainsworth. That was so bad because, like, he came into camp mad overweight, and he wouldn't even was it overweight, and he wouldn't even like do anything to really improve.
Yep.
Like,
And then, like I said, the RG3 thing, we ruined him. Then we have our most consistent quarterback since Mark Brunell, because if you're a real Commanders fan,
oh
Mark
God,
Brunell. Mark Brunell was the most consistent quarterback that we had in the 2000s, all the way up to the point that we got RG3. Anybody after Mark Brunell was straight cheeks. Jason Campbell, cheeks. Patrick Ramsey, cheeks. All those other guys, terrible. Yeah, the Kirk thing, that's what I'm saying. That right there is really was the downfall of our franchise when we didn't sign Kirk Cousins, because the guy was the most consistent quarterback since Mark Brunell, like I said. And I don't care what guy people say. Man, look, Jason Cam was trash. Jason Cam was trash, man. Like, he was trash. I don't care what people say about Kirk. Oh, he threw this interception and that interception. You have to understand with Kirk, Todd Collins. Don't even get me started. But with the Kirk situation, we had a terrible defense when we had Kirk Cousins. If you gave Kirk Cousins this defense now, he would excel crazily. Because I'll be honest with you, our defense is way better than that Vikings defense. And you saw what he did with that Vikings team this year. And
I'm ridiculously low on Kirk Cousins, though.
The thing is, I'll be honest with you, I was ridiculously low on Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. And when it's all said and done, he's going to be a Hall of Famer because the longevity, and he's done enough. His statistics say he's a Hall of Famer. Like, especially if he goes and wins a Super Bowl. If the guy gets a Super Bowl on his resume, the guy's a Hall of Famer, 100%.
Hall of Famer?
100%. The statistics say it. Every year, Kirk has been consistent. Every year. He's been consistent. 30-plus touchdown passes, over 4,000 passing yards. He's consistent every single season. He's missed a couple of the playoffs due to having to be on shit Redskins teams, organization where you don't know what's going to happen the next day. Like, there was so many things around the Kirk situation at the time and things of that nature. But like I said, if you gave him this team, I agree with you, defender of the North. And the only reason I agree with you is because people say that Peyton Manning is a Hall of Famer, but Eli Manning is not a Hall of Famer, which is absolutely goddamn crazy to me because this man, Eli Manning, beat the best quarterback in the world 2 times in the Super Bowl.
Okay, but like that's not like something that
Eli Manning.
Nick Foles also beat him. Like,
Eli Manning was consistent every year. I watched Eli Manning beat my team 36-0 one. 36-0, and Sean Taylor was on that team too. We had Sean Taylor, and he still beat us 36-0.
Dude, Sean Taylor still break like it. If you were around in the DMV when Sean Taylor was around, and after that incident happened, it's just.
I went to Sean Taylor's last game, and I went to the game after Sean Taylor passed away. So I went to that Cowboys game where they blocked the field goal, and he was the one that ran the field goal back, and we kicked the game winner. And then I went to the game right after the Bills game where after he died.
It's crazy.
But no. Going back to the Kirk Cousins, Eli Manning thing. Kirk Cousins, Eli Manning, both consistent on many levels. And you can't and this is the thing too. Why do we give Peyton the benefit of the doubt and he's a Hall of Famer, but Eli's not? Peyton has less. Well, actually, they have the same amount of rings now, right? They both have 2. Yeah, because Peyton.
They both have 2. Eli has one more Super Bowl MVP. Okay. But Peyton Manning is literally like the second best quarterback of all time.
1,000%. There's no argument in that at all. But why discredit Eli and what he did for several years? Because, hold on, and I saw it yesterday. I just want to make sure that I'm correct before I say anything crazy at all.
You like to say crazy things, though.
Most of the crazy things I say.
My thing with Eli Manning is he has only been in the playoffs, 6 seasons? Was it 6 seasons? And he only won the playoff games he was in the 2 years that he went to the Super Bowl. Now, going from wild card to Super Bowl and beating the undefeated Patriots is obviously no small task. But I don't know. I can see him being a Hall of Famer, but definitely not even close to the first ballot.
Yeah, I didn't say first ballot.
Right.
But the guy's definitely a Hall of Famer. His statistics prove it. Guy's 2 Super Bowls. I mean, yeah, he's only been to the playoffs 7 times out of his 16-year career, but you have to look at what the Giants had and, you know, what he had to do with those teams and things of that nature. And it's like you put him in a better situation where he has like, let's switch him and Peyton.
See, this is what I've been saying though. Eli's not a top 10 quarterback, and he wasn't one
I
for
don't know about that.
most, like 98% of his career.
I don't know about that. I don't know about
In his defense, though,
quarterback in his career, because Eli is better than Eli. Eli was better than Phillip Rivers. Eli was better.
I wouldn't say better than Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers has no Super Bowls.
The Super Bowls aren't everything.
So if Super Bowls aren't everything, then why isn't Kirk Cousins a Hall of Famer? Are we gonna say Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
All right then. Then Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. Because check this out. Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning came in the same draft. Weren't they traded for one another?
Yeah.
Exactly. So in the 16 years that they both played, 2 Super Bowls, no Super Bowls. What am I missing?
See, Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl though.
All right. And Dan Marino's a Hall of Famer, right?
One of the best quarterbacks of all time.
But how?
Because he was good. It's not all about Super Bowl.
All right. So I'm not even going to get into that because that just proves my point about another thing that I argue about. But, you know, so if we're saying Dan Marino's a Hall of Famer, no Super Bowls, what makes Dan Marino a Hall of Famer that doesn't make Eli Manning a Hall of Famer?
Because Dan Marino was literally one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Look, all right.
Look at Dan Marino's team, though. He had great teams. Eli Manning never really had great teams. Mario Manning. I'm just stating the facts. I'm just stating the facts. That's just like my boy Chad Johnson. They blackballed him out the Hall of Fame. That guy's a Hall of Famer.
I could definitely see. Obviously, Chad Johnson is a Hall of Famer, but Ochocinco. But you're not gonna be able to convince me that Phillip Rivers is not better than Eli Manning. You're not gonna be able to convince me of that.
How? But what makes Phillip Rivers better than Eli Manning?
Just look at them as quarter. Hold on, let me. Okay. Rivers has more passing touchdowns, less passing yards, same.
They have the same amount of wins, same amount of regular season wins, 118.
Stats don't tell the whole story. We know that.
Eli Manning has more passing yards, 10 less or 14 less touchdowns, and Super Bowls. Same record, 118 wins in their career. So they have the same stats. What makes Eli Manning not
wins are not a QB stat though?
Win is what? Say that again. Wins are not a QB stat.
Wins are not a QB stat.
Okay, if wins are not a QB stat, then look at the statistics. The statistics themselves, we just said that Eli only has 14 less touchdown passes than him. Eli Manning has more yards than the guy with 14 less touchdown passes. I'm not understanding here. Like, and this is a guy, Phillip Rivers, like, he had to play the same. What didn't he lose to the same Tom Brady that Eli Manning beat in the Super Bowl? I think so, right? 2007, wasn't that Chargers in New England? He lost to the same Tom Brady that Eli Manning beat in the Super Bowl.
Okay, all right. Look, if Eli Manning hadn't gotten a helmet catch, the luckiest catch of all time. And if that interception at the goal line in the first Super Bowl, if the corner actually caught the ball instead of completely whiffing on it, Eli Manning would not have any Super Bowls if
Okay,
those two things didn't happen.
is Russell Wilson a Hall of Fame?
Yeah,
I gotta get out of here.
bro. What?
So Russell Wilson's the Hall of Famer, but Eli Manning's not.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say Eli Manning isn't a Hall of Famer. I just said he's not like I would not put him in the Hall of Fame. I put him in the Hall of Very Good.
Somebody needs to send this to Eli Manning because I don't even vouch for them. I hate the Giants.
We
But
all
I'm
hate the
vouching for
Giants.
you right now, Eli, because I'm tired of people slandering you, man. I watched you play my team 2 times a year for 20 years. I know that Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. That guy, he dips and dots. Like, and there's a time this guy, he had literally just Tiki Barber. Like, and then, yeah, there was Plexico Burris. Yeah, there was Mario Manningham. Yeah, there was David Tyree. Like, where was David Tyree after that Super Bowl catch? We never saw David Tyree again. Where was Mario Manningham after that Super Bowl that they beat the Patriots in the second time? We never saw him again. Hakeem Nicks. I never heard of Hakeem Nicks again. These are the type of people that Eli Manning won a Super Bowl with. How can we not say this man is a Hall of Famer?
Nick Foles won a Super Bowl with Jalen Mills as corner 2. He won a Super Bowl with Nelson Aguilar, Alshon Jeffrey, who actually after that Super Bowl was good, but before the Super Bowl was obviously very good. But regardless, we had like we didn't have anybody that was really that good outside of our linemen on both sides.
So
Like-
then, who was your head coach then?
Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson, right. So basically, you're just telling me that Doug Peterson. So basically, what this is telling me is Tom Coughlin and Doug Peterson are the Hall of Fame, not the quarterbacks.
No.
Because I just don't understand what I'm missing with Eli for him not to be a Hall of Famer. It's just
he was never one of the top quarterbacks in the league ever.
I think the narrative changes for every other individual to get into the Hall of Fame. Because this is the thing. Let me look at the quarterbacks that came in Eli's draft class. Everyone, though, Kylie just rested my case, though. LeBron is better than Jordan. Rings don't matter.
What? Yeah, I've never said rings matter.
Rings don't matter.
No. When you're arguing like who's better, I will very, very rarely bring up the rings. Because the rings, especially for football, are a team accomplishment. The Chiefs did not beat us this year without Patrick Mahomes or without
the only quarterback in Eli Manning's draft class that I will say is better than Eli Manning is Ben Roethlisberger. Other than that, you had Phillip Rivers, J.P. Lossman, and Matt Schaub. Who is J.P. Lossman?
I'm not okay. Obviously, in that draft class, but at the same time, Lamar Jackson went in the same draft class as Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, I believe Josh Rosen.
And Lamar is the best in that draft class. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Well, yeah, I would definitely put Lamar above anybody else in that draft class. But you're never gonna be able to convince me that Eli is better than Phillip Rivers. There's no way. The film shows it. Phillip Rivers was significantly better.
But I don't know about that.
The Chargers are cursed, and we know this. Like it's not his fault that he got traded to the Chargers, and the Chargers are like the most cursed franchise outside of Cleveland.
All right, let me just give you the rundown in 2004.
Which, by the way, Cleveland is looking into Jerry Jeudy. I don't know why the Broncos are looking to get rid of Jerry Jeudy, but it's a thing.
The only quarterbacks that I can say, and this is just in 2004, the year that they all got drafted. Only quarterbacks I see on this list that are better than Eli Manning throughout his career is his brother, Peyton.
Of course.
Brady. Brett Favre.
Brady. Rodgers.
Mike Vick. Drew Brees. Carson Palmer.
See, right there.
And Ben Roethlisberger.
Carson Palmer, you just said, is better than Eli Manning. Carson freaking Palmer, bro.
Carson Palmer was different. He never had a team. Had Carson Palmer been in Eli Manning's situation, Carson Palmer would have Super Bowls too.
All right then.
Carson Palmer, that's what I'm saying right there. Like Eli Manning never really had a team and won 2 Super Bowls. You know, like Carson Palmer really didn't get anybody till he got AJ Green.
Like, don't disrespect Michael Strahan's team like that.
Like, yeah, Carson had Chad, but him and Chad didn't really match like they should have. And Carson never really had a defense. The Giants had at least a defense when they won a Super Bowl. But
right
on top of that, it's like the with Carson Palmer, even in those games that they were losing, he was still throwing 4 or 5 touchdowns, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns a game. So that's why I say Carson Palmer is better than Eli Manning.
So then is Carson Palmer a Hall of Famer?
Carson Palmer, if you look at the statistics, he reminds me of Kirk Cousins. Yeah, so yes, he's a Hall of Famer. But that's what I'm saying. The narrative changes for everybody. You feel me?
It does change for everybody. It's not even just the NFL.
They would never put Carson Palmer in the Hall of Fame. But if you look at the statistics compared to some guys that are in the Hall of Fame, Carson Palmer has the damn near the same stats as some of those guys that are in the Hall of Fame. That's just like the Chad Johnson argument. Chad Johnson has literally the same stats as Art Monk. But because Art Monk played, 20 years before Chad Johnson, his narrative is different. I understand that. I get that. But when Eli lost those games, who was he losing to?
Everybody.
He was losing to the better quarterbacks. Okay. But then look, check this out. The quarterbacks I said that were better than him, he beat one of those guys in the NFC Championship to get to the Super Bowl. The guy went on 3 straight road games in that 2007 season to get to the Super Bowl. He played the coldest game in Lambeau and beat Brett Favre.
All right, well then Nick Foles beat the Falcons. The Vikings, who were on who had a stupid season.
We're not going to put the Falcons in there. The Falcons are. What quarterback have they had? Matt Ryan has been shit since the days into the league. He's shit. He's garbage.
Dude, don't disrespect Matt Ryan like that. He's not that bad.
That was my sadness for the Commanders. I thought we were gonna get Matt Ryan, and I was gonna.
I know.
I was gonna be hurt because Matt Ryan is garbage.
Yeah, no, you don't like Matt Ryan.
But okay, so Nick Foles beat the Falcons. Who else?
The Vikings, who are having a very good season.
Was that Kirk Cousins?
No, it's Case Keenum.
And I don't want to hear it.
Bro, Case Keenum was having a very good season that year.
Case Keenum also played on my team. I know the real Case Keenum. Andy Dalton. Be serious right now. Next subject.
Andy Dalton has had better seasons than Yes.
Andy Dalton.
That's not saying Andy Dalton is better than Eli. He's not. But he has had better seasons than Eli Manning has had. Some of them.
Defender of the North, pull the seasons up right now. Pull the stats up. Pull the
Dude,
seasons up that he had better than Eli Manning. Please.
I sent him the link to join up, but he hasn't joined yet.
Nah, seriously. Pull the stats up and put it on this show right now because I need to see with my own 2 eyes when Andy Dalton was better than Eli Manning. Because I will not. No good. No way. There's just no possible way. Because, okay.
It's not all about stats. You gotta watch the film.
So, if it's not all about stats, then I'm gonna be real controversial here.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
My boy, I hope he's still watching. Hold on. Let me text him just to make sure he's tuned in.
Careful before I kick you off.
If it's not about stats, it's not about rings. Aaron Rodgers.
It's not all about stats.
Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady then.
People have made that argument.
The argument can be made.
Yeah, it can.
If we cancel the rings out, the argument can be made.
Yeah, it can.
Different demon. He does a lot of things Tom cannot do.
Yeah, Eli Manning, or not Eli. Aaron Rodgers is like the most accurate quarterback in NFL history. He just had his 100th interception this past season.
Exactly. And he's going into year 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
So
that argument can absolutely be made.
I've seen Aaron Rodgers do everything that Tom Brady can do. I've never seen Tom Brady do what Aaron Rodgers can do.
Has Aaron Rodgers ever thrown for 500 yards in the Super Bowl?
Man, listen. Besides that Super Bowl shit, I've never seen Aaron Rodgers roll. I mean, I've never seen Tom Brady roll out to his left, do a full loop-de-loop circle, roll back out to his right, and then throw a Hail Mary for a touchdown. I've never seen him throw across his body on the dot, sideline catch against the Cowboys and stuff like that. Like you said, Aaron Rodgers is the most accurate quarterback in NFL history. So the argument can be made that Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady.
Yeah. The argument can definitely be made, and a lot of people have said that.
Defender of the North, do you have anything to say about that one?
That's what he has to say.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it can absolutely be made. I mean, like, it's not to say that Super Bowls and playoff stuff doesn't matter. It absolutely does, and it plays into the legacy of players. There's no doubt about that, especially when you're talking about, like, you know, you got to look at the context of things when you're talking about, when you're comparing players.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot that goes into it more than stats. You know, you got to look at the team. You also got to look at the coach, and you just got to look at everything, dude. Like, Eli Manning was the top 10 quarterback maybe a couple times in his career, maybe. In his defense, it was a loaded, like, decade and a half for quarterbacks. So that I do cut him some slack for that, and that is why, like, I can partially see why people would put him in the Hall of Fame. Because, I mean, it was just a loaded decade and a half for quarterbacks. But, like, did your friend see what you said?
Yeah, and he said, this is his take on it. He said, Rodgers should have 3 rings, Brandon Bostic, and also they were supposed to meet at the Super Bowl 3 times, 2012, 2014, 2016. Rodgers had the best Super Bowl performance QBR. Eli owns Brady in the Super Bowl, and also Malcolm Butler got Brady his 4th ring, and he's not lying about that. Malcolm Butler got Brady that 4th ring.
Yeah, that's literally all facts. Like, there's nothing wrong in anything he said. I don't know. It's just, like he just said, he played in an era of Hall of Fame quarterbacks. So
1,000%.
I cut him slack. I do cut him slack, and
that's what makes him a Hall of Famer. Eli was if he played in an era of Hall of Fame of people, of Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and rings is what defines your legacy, because not to us, but to, like, the sports world.
So you speak okay. Now I see what you're saying.
Yeah, to the sports world, rings defines your legacy.
Yeah.
So if he was defeating the Hall of Fame quarterbacks and won rings during that Hall of Fame quarterback time that he was in the league, how is he not a Hall of Famer? He beat all the Hall of Famers to win the Super Bowl.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
So yeah. So I 100% believe Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. You give Kirk Cousins a ring, he's right in there too. I think Kirk Cousins should have came and got a ring with us, but we're idiots.
There's definitely arguments to be made for in favor of them. So there's there's no denying that. But me personally, I'm saying no. But obviously, I like I said, I can see why people would say yes. Especially because Eli is a Manning. But what I really, really wanted to get into before we end the episode, because this pisses me off more than anything in the world right now.
What's your team doing?
Fanatics,
Oh,
huh?
I was about to say, what's your team's doing? Because y'all done got rid of half that damn roster.
Oh yeah, dude. We lost CJ Gardner Johnson. We kept Darius Slay, so that's good. Um
Oh yeah, guys. Yeah, we had some good conversations today. It was very lovely.
Dude,
But
we always do.
only reason you guys got to keep Darius Slay was because CJ
We're not
left.
keeping CJ. Yeah.
And
And honestly, I know my guy is going to support me in this. I would much rather have corners than safeties. Like in terms of like, would I rather have a top tier corner or a top tier safety? Give me a
oh
top
hell
tier
yeah,
corner.
hell yeah.
Absolutely. Um, it sucks because I absolutely love CJ and CJ is younger than Slay. Um, but Slay is literally like my favorite Eagle. There's so many players on this team that I love. It's hard to pick a favorite because yeah, slot corner replaceable. So that's exactly. So as much as it hurts to see CJ go because he was very good, um, who we did keep is I'd rather have. We just need to give Hurts whatever contract he's asking for, and
Hey,
that'll
you,
be our off season. And we got to
you
do
heard,
the draft. The draft is going to be fun. We should go live for the draft for the
we
first
should.
round.
You heard AJ Brown. He said, man, if you don't give Jalen Hurts that contract, wherever y'all ship him off to, y'all might as well ship me too. So
Yeah, AJ, he also said he doesn't recruit players because that's too wishy washy. So that irritated me a little bit. Um, but I freaking love AJ Brown. He can say whatever he wants. I don't care. I love him.
I I, I do want to go on the CJ Gardner thing though, because the team he went to, the Lions. Whew,
Dude, the Lions are having a fantastic off season.
and that's another big thing too.
No, he's not going to Baltimore. Shut up.
The NFC is so wide open
It is. It is.
that the Lions could make a lot of noise next year.
They can. And I mean, I'm high on Goff. Like I think Goff is a pretty good quarterback. I mean, he's not like one of the best, obviously, but I'm higher on him than most. And what Dan Campbell has been able to do for the Lions is great. Um, the Lions fans deserve a good team. Like they deserve it.
They need to go get
So
Lamar. I ain't gonna lie. I love Goff.
Lamar is staying in Baltimore.
I like Goff. Goff's cool. You know, he's one of those quarterbacks. I'm not gonna say he's some shit, but he's cool.
But I'm still taking Lamar over Goff, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah, obviously.
And with that defense, if they put Lamar on that team with, you know, the offense that they have, because they have a lot of offensive weapons. Plus, I'm sure they'll get more in the draft. But with that defense that they have, wow, just wow.
Yeah, I mean, the Detroit can very easily make some noise. I want to see how the draft plays out before I give my prediction on their season specifically because we don't know what trades are going to happen. I mean, Jerry Judy could literally go anywhere. Um, Cleveland's looking at him. I don't know why Denver is looking to trade him.
Probably not happy over there. I wouldn't be happy if I was Judy either, because
I wouldn't either.
Yes, Judy went to Alabama where he was the #1 target on a team that had Calvin Ridley and who else was on that team?
CeeDee Lamb, or did CeeDee Lamb go to? Oh yeah, Henry Ruggs.
Henry
Lamb went to Oklahoma.
Ruggs. Yeah, so Calvin Ridley, Henry Ruggs. There was another guy too. I'm blanking on his name right now, but Judy was the top target on that team.
Yeah, Judy was a dog, dude.
So then when you come into the NFL and you're not getting the same look you were getting in college, and you feel as if you're the same caliber player that you were in college, then it's very frustrating.
Which he is.
Right, exactly. It's very, very frustrating, and I don't think the Broncos have used Jerry to his full potential since
No.
gotten into the league, and that's kind of like the Kadarius Toney situation. The Giants were just
Yes.
bullshitting with Tony, like this guy
Yeah,
has
for sure.
so much talent, and you're just wasting his talent on the sideline. As soon as he gets to the Chiefs, the first week he was with the Chiefs, the guy scores a touchdown.
It was Waddle and Devontae Smith. That's right.
Waddle, Ruggs, and Smith, and that Jesus Christ, Alabama
And
was
he was number one, bro. How like, dude, Judy is one of my favorite wide receivers outside of the Eagles. Like he probably is my favorite wide receiver outside of the Eagles right now. Like, I love Judy, and I actually wanted him during the draft. Defender of the North. I'm not gonna say her name, but you can confirm how bad I wanted Judy. Anybody in that draft class, we got Jalen Rager, so that's a
wow.
draft I'm willing to forget. Aside from getting hurt, that was a terrible draft year.
I,
But
I'm just sitting here thinking now. I think Alabama might be the greatest
I
college.
would not see. I would not shut the hell up. I wanted Judy. I was convinced the Eagles were gonna somehow trade for to get Judy, Ruggs, or Lamb, and we had Justin Jefferson right there. But we got Rager, so whatever. It's fine. We have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, two of the best wide receivers in the NFC. So I don't care.
Alabama
Which
might be the greatest college team in all of college history because when you really
they
think,
have to be.
they have so much talent in the NFL. It's
And they took Rager and Jettis went to the next pick to the Vikings. Yeah, it's real funny. Mm-hmm.
no, yeah, seriously. I don't know what you guys are thinking about picking up Jalen Rieger. And the thing is, this is the hilarious part. I have other friends that are Eagles fans. My one boy, he was so hyped when you guys got Rieger. Yeah, we got Rieger, we got Rieger. I said, bro, I seen this story before. I said, do you not remember Josh Dotson? I said, Josh Dotson was the same guy at TCU that came to the Redskins and didn't do a goddamn thing. And I said, Jalen Rieger will be the same exact way. And sure enough, Jalen Rieger came to the Eagles and he was the same thing that Josh Dotson was for the Redskins.
Yeah.
Didn't produce a lick of anything. I don't even what is Josh Dotson doing nowadays? I gotta look him up real quick.
Now, okay, so we are both fans of a team in the NFC East. And before we go to hockey, very quickly, I wanted to talk about this because it just reminded me. We know AJ Brown is wide receiver 1 in the NFC East. We know Terry McLaurin is wide receiver 2. Who are you taking third, CeeDee Lamb or Devontae Smith?
That's hard. I like both.
Quarterbacks out of mind because we all know Hurts is better than Dak easily, without
Take the
question.
quarterback, yeah, and that's the thing too. When you take the quarterbacks out of mind,
Yes, people are debating it because it's actually closer than some would think. I'm taking Lamb personally, but I give Cowboys fans shit, and I always say Devontae Smith. But for real, I would pick Lamb.
yeah, I think CD was crazy, man. CD's been crazy.
He needs a quarterback.
CD's another one of those guys. He was the number one receiver on a team with Hollywood Brown and I forgot who the other guy was that they had out there. But CD, he's different. His route running, and I feel like Devontae Smith. Actually, I'm not even going to disrespect my boy like that. Never mind. I was going to disrespect my boy Deshaun Jackson with this take right here, but I ain't even going to do that.
Hey, no.
I was going to say I feel like Devontae Smith is more like Deshaun Jackson, but Deshaun Jackson was crazy. He's like Devontae Smith is not even close to that level yet.
Yeah, Smitty isn't a deep threat. Deshaun Jackson would have torched like prime Djax, man, like that. It pains me so much because this dude was my favorite Eagle back in the day. I will forever hate Chip Kelly. I hope he steps on a Lego every second of every day for the rest of his life. I hope his shoes are made of Legos. I hope his bed is made of Legos. I hope his car seat is made of Legos. I hope his gas pedal in his car is made of Legos. I hope his office chair is made of Legos. I hate him.
I was just watching something yesterday, and it was funny that you say that because it's like they were like Chip Kelly might have ruined what could have been the best team in NFL history because
Yes,
you guys had D-Jack, Prime Shady McCoy,
Vic.
Vic, and you have Foles as your backup, but like Foles is like he's one of those backups that if you threw him in a game though, and if you threw him in a game, he's going to do his job. Foles is one of those
Kylie mentioned
backups.
Chip
Threw him in a
Kelly.
game,
Take a
he's going
drink.
to do his job. As a starter, though, I wouldn't trust him to go out there and start a
Yeah,
16-game season. But
no.
if he was thrown into a situation like, all right, first quarterback just got injured, I'm in the game now. Oh yeah, I trust Nick Foles 1,000%. Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So having that team that y'all had, a new and improved Vic, prime D-Jack, prime LaShawn McCoy, and this dude sat and traded everybody.
Yeah, he did. 7 touchdowns and 1 game Foles as a backup. Yeah, yeah. People don't remember that the fact that Foles had 7 touchdowns in 1 game, tying a record.
Man, forget Foles having 7 touchdowns in one game. The one game I will never forget with that team, y'all came into Washington. It's Monday Night Football.
I know what you're talking about.
Deshaun
Kicked your
Jackson
ass.
on the first fucking play. And after that, it was lights out for us. 56
Dude.
We got our ass whipped.
Dude, that was one of my favorite games. I remember watching on the TV in my house back in Gaithersburg. Like, I'm pretty sure it was Gaithersburg. Dude, like when I was a kid, up until very, very recently, Washington was my least favorite team. Because when I was a kid, I lived in an area where it was all Washington fans. Like around here, you get a mix of everybody. So it's not bad, but dude, Washington fans in that area would not shut up. I didn't care if we went 2-14, as long as those 2 wins were against Washington. I did not care back in the day. Like y'all got on me so much for being an Eagles fan. Like it, dude, it made me a stronger Eagles fan and a stronger Washington hater. So
first Eagles fan I ever met was my boy Dylan Panzer, first grade.
Love it. See, but like now it's obviously I hate the Cowboys. Like they're the worst team in the league. I can't stand them. I hope they all step on Legos. But that game was just beautiful. The first throw was a freaking dot to Deshaun Jackson deep. Like it was a great game, and it's one that's etched in my mind forever. But we are over time, so there's one thing I really wanted to talk about for hockey. Fanatics, other than the Bruins having a freaking historical and amazing season, Fanatics partnered with the NHL and will now be the maker of their official on ice jersey. And I think that's terrible.
I didn't even see that. I'll have to read more into it so I can give my opinion on it, to be honest.
The whole thing is the only thing is instead of Adidas making their jerseys for on ice, like their official jerseys, it's Fanatics. So like how Nike makes MLB, it's Fanatics.
I've been hearing I've been hearing Fanatics a lot today because I was actually.
That's why.
I took Milani to the doctors this morning, and on the radio they were saying that FedEx Field now has a Fanatics sports betting thing or whatever, and yeah, supposedly it's like a bar and place to sit down, and like you can play sports bets there and things of that nature, and it's open even when FedEx Field itself is not open. So you can
Interesting.
I was gonna have to go check it out, but I don't know. Maybe Fanatics is the next big thing around or something.
I hope not. Fanatics is terrible. I don't care if it is a dude from Philadelphia. Fanatics is terrible. I wanted to get a sponsorship with them, but no, they're a terrible company, and I cannot sell out like that. Um, like I know we were previously sponsored by Fanatics through our old network, but nah, I'm done with Fanatics. They are genuinely terrible. So hopefully it is better than we think it's gonna be, but I don't have any hopes for it. You're gonna see a lot of jersey tears, and it's not gonna be good. Is there any final word you want to say before we cut out?
Don't say I didn't tell you guys. The NFC is wide open. Watch out for my Commanders and watch out for the Lions.
Dude, the Lions, yeah, the Lions are going to be a team to watch this year for sure. All right, that ends episode 61. Thank you guys so much for listening. We did go over time today, but we were having a good conversation, so we couldn't end it too short.
Yep.
Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
Peace out.